We had a very dramatic night last night. I was just laying down to go to sleep and I heard this horrible screaming sound outside, and I ran out and there was a possum on the back porch with a bunch of feathers in its mouth, downy feathers everywhere, and 2 of my hens missing. So, some of you know, my hens apparently have a death wish, and they have been jumping over the roof of their coop to get out to sleep on my back porch instead of sleeping safely in their coop where I can lock them up. At first, I was carrying them into their coop one by one every night, and then I was like, I have 2 toddlers. If y'all want to sleep on the back porch, fine, more power to you. And I've been trying to work on getting their roof finished for their coop because I'm redoing it so that they can't jump over anymore. But last night was scary. So I was hoping that my hens maybe ran off because I didn't see any blood or anything. I just saw downy feathers, and my other one that was missing was my black Australorp. I didn't see any black feathers at all, just the light golden feathers. So this morning when I got up, I saw this one come walking out of the woods, and I saw my black Australorp outside. So I was like, thank goodness they're alive. But this poor little girl, she's got a little bit of a limp, and you can see where the possum roughed her up a good bit, and she's got a bunch of feathers pulled out. She is not wanting to fly right now. She was actually letting me hold her and carry her, which is not like her. She's not necessarily a cuddly chicken. So I brought her inside for right now because she was just huddling under the bush outside since it's like 30 degrees right now. I just brought her inside for right now. Gonna keep an eye on her, and when she's feeling better, she can go back out. I've got a hot cup of tea. Let's go check on our plants. It's 35 outside now. I actually did not make it outside to cut the lettuce last night, and that is looking fine. These cabbages up here were covered by the tarp, and they look great. This cabbage back here was not, and it does not look so great. You can see this one just looks a little bit more floppy, like it got frozen a little bit. My concern with my brassicas is more that they're going to be in shock because we've had days that are getting up almost to 80, and when I started putting them in the ground, the 10-day forecast had nothing below 45 for the lows at night. So they're not used to freezing temperatures. If they had been used to it, I wouldn't be as concerned, but I'm just concerned they're going to be shocked with the drastic change in temperature. I can see already some of my blankets blew off, so let's go check. Cabbages and broccolis should be able to handle a light freeze, but I like to be extra safe. So overall, it's looking a little bit iffy. Some of them are looking, these are the ones I just transplanted out. They're looking a little bit sad. The ones under the jugs do look better than the ones that were not under jugs. But I think if we just had one night of freeze, they would be okay. Where I'm concerned is that we're gonna have a couple nights. Like tonight it's supposed to be freezing or below for like 6 hours. So I do have some more broccoli in the greenhouse if something happens to these. The cabbages look like they did better, though the ones that the blanket blew off of, they're looking a little bit more rough. But the ones that had even just a sheet on them look fine. My trees and my blueberry bushes, I'm gonna leave covered up today. It's not gonna hurt them to stay covered for the day, and it's gonna be cold again tonight, so I'm just gonna leave those covers on until tomorrow. Look, our first iris is blooming. It does not even care what the weather is gonna be tomorrow. There's a lesson there. I am not a gardening expert by any means, and I still am learning how to grow, especially the cold crops. In previous years, I have found much more difficulty with dealing with the heat coming too fast and then having to worry about my broccolis going to seed before I even get heads on them. So I may have started a little early, but according to the charts, I'm on time. So I'm gonna have faith that the charts know better than I do. And I tend to err on the side of trying to get my cold crops out a little sooner, and trying to get them to form broccoli heads or cabbage heads before the heat comes. We have a little bit less than a month before our last frost date. Our last frost date is usually around April 6th. So I've got everything covered back up. It's supposed to be between 30 and 32 degrees for 5 hours tonight. I focused more on covering my more fragile plants that had gotten a little bit more exposure and on my stronger plants. If you have a limited number of containers or blankets to cover your plants, if you focus on the plants that are doing the best, they're going to survive, and I would focus on that. Now again, brassicas are supposed to be okay with a light freeze, and this is a light freeze. A light freeze gets down to 29 degrees. A hard freeze is 28 degrees and below. Look at them. They are so mad at me for locking them up so they don't get eaten again. Well, they didn't actually get eaten, but they were an attempted dinner last night. Ugh, so mad. Well, I don't want you guys to get eaten, because that is horrible. Alright, well, all the plants are covered up, the chickens are put to bed, and they are locked up. So hopefully nothing crazy happens tonight and everything will make it through. Because this weather is so crazy. I feel like every year it's like something. So, thanks for hanging out. How are your crops doing? Are you guys getting the drop in temperature after getting it so warm too? Are you having blossoms where your plants are now in the cold, freezing temps? Let me know. Thanks for hanging out with me today. It's fun as always. Emergencies or not, crazy temps or not, and I will see you next time.